Good morning, everybody. I haven't been in for a few days, but I thought I'd come in today because things are going to be a bit all over the place for me this week because I'm flying to Cairo tomorrow, and I'll stay in Cairo for a couple of days, and then I will be flying back home to Australia for a month or two, and either back here or off to India or somewhere. So I thought I'm going to try to get in as often as I can, but it may not be daily. So there is big change happening, and today is a 52-7 day, which is all about trusting in the changes. And in fact, it's about trusting in our own creativity to bring about those changes. And it's about being able to communicate that and be willing to open and speak our truth in regards to those changes that are happening, and our own willing abilities, if you like, for a better word, to be able to trust that. Have faith. Have faith in your own spirit. Have faith that everything is flowing in accordance with the divine plan. And just allow that to flow. So they're the energies that are with us today. It's a perfect day for meditation, perfect day to do some healing, give yourself some healing and some nurturing. We heal in cycles of 7, so today is at the end of a healing cycle, so therefore it's a good time to be able to gift yourself the gift of healing, whether you give it to yourself or whether you receive one from somebody else facilitating the energy, or go have a massage or whatever. Do something that is about giving healing to yourself. And the affirmation for today is, I am the creator of my own existence, and everything I do is the true expression of who I am. I am the creator of my own existence, and everything I do is the true expression of who I am. Good morning, Sylvia. So the colors that go with today are blue, orange, and the overall color is violet. So the blue and the orange are supporting the creativity and the changes that are coming through. And the violet, of course, is to do with trusting the process of life, trusting the process of your own soul's growth, trusting the pathway that is laid out before you. So with that, I'm going to leave you with that, because it's just a short, brief one to say hello, say good morning, and apologise for not being in for the last couple of days. But it's been excruciatingly hot here, and I've had trouble with the air conditioning. So the changes will begin for me tomorrow, and I shall fly to Cairo and rest up for a few days. Bring you some more work while I'm in Cairo, some more insights, whatever, and fly back to Australia on Friday, arriving in Australia on Saturday, home ground, refresh myself, spend some time at the beach in the middle of winter. And good. Sylvia, you've ordered the numerology book that is called, for those that don't know, the book is called, not my book, by the way, but it's a book that I recommend, and it is called Numerology and the Divine Triangle, and by Jarvain Faith and Dusty Bunker. And it's a really brilliant book. It'll help you with daily energies in the way that they write about it. And hi, Christina. And it, for a long time, was my Bible, the numerology, until I opened to my own, hi Rachel and hi Gemma, until I opened to my own intuitive senses of working with numbers. So what happens, numbers are like they're like keys. So I think it was Pythagoras said that we will find enlightenment through color, sound, and numbers, or geometries, if you like, but through numbers. And that is so true. They open keys to open your intuition. So when I look at a string of numbers, I can read a sentence from them. So I read intuitively. So when I read the numbers for you on a daily basis or whatever, what I'm doing is I'm I'm not reading from something that has come from a book, but I did learn originally from a book, and that book was the most valuable book for me, and that is, again, I'll give it another plug, Numerology and the Divine Triangle by Jarvain Faith and Dusty Bunker. And another book that is very good is by Dan Millman. I can't remember what it's called, but it's Dan Millman's numerology book. He's the author of The Way of the Peaceful Warrior, great book. And but that's a long time ago. So I've been working with numbers for a very long time, maybe 20 years or longer. And so it opens the door to intuition, to being able to read numbers as a sentence. And of course, being my background, you know, I'm not there so much anymore, but my background is as a colour therapist. So living and breathing colour, and that colour connects with everything, by the way, connects with numbers, with sound, with nature, with oils, with angels, with masters, with you name it. Colour is everything because it's vibration. So when you connect the colours and the numbers and your chakras and the rainbow and all of this, you have the perfect recipe, if you like, or whatever, to be able to help you to open to your own intuitive self. And so I used to have a colour therapy school that I taught a 2-year diploma colour therapy program. And I did that for 4 or 5 years. And then through working with all of those energies, I've gone on, haven't I? I wasn't going to do this. But anyway, after working with all of those energies so efficiently and so diligently for so many years, I then had attuned my own energy field to such a vibration that the gift that I carry for the world was given to me on my 44th birthday on the 3rd of March 2004. And they were the frequencies of Luxor, that we now call Luxor Light Ascension. And from that I developed a new at that time, not so new now, new healing modality, self-healing modality, which is all through meditation, that opens you up to very high frequencies, opens you up to being able to reach to your higher self very quickly and start to amplify your own self-healing, amplifies the frequencies within the body, with every cell within the body, which means that a diseased cell cannot live in a high frequency environment. So the more you work with this, the more you become more and more well, more and more healthy on every level, physical, emotional, mental, and of course, ultimately spiritual, because it's to do with awakening. It awakens you to higher and higher. So it's called the Luxor Light Ascension Program, and you can find that on my website, www.luxorlightascension.com. And I have specials going all the time, by the way, people, and I would love to see you come in. Back again, because it cut out for a minute, and sometimes I do it in person. I used to only do it in person, but you know, I travel a lot, so mostly it's online now. So and from that comes a healing modality, which also is very powerful. And the Luxor Light Awakening frequencies, Ascension frequencies, open us to our gifts that if you were following, for instance, you know, the religious side, they call it gifts of the Holy Spirit, and awakens people to the gift of tongues. In you know, our language, we call it the language of light. And my gift is to carry the awakening keys and codes of ascension that come through from Lord Enoch, which is also the same energies as Thoth and Hermes, so the thrice great. And so these keys and codes awaken people to greater and higher aspects of themselves and unlock, in fact, a lot of unlocking. So if you've listened to any of my crazy shake the body, make loud noises type thing, the clucking sounds is to do with unlocking. So it clears your blockages and unlocks stagnant energy and unlocks parts of your consciousness that has been locked away for eons, like since the fall of Atlantis, for instance. It awakens the pineal gland, allows you to open to greater frequencies and bring in more light, amplifies your spiritual self to greater degrees, means that you're more comfortable with anchoring your higher self. So what we do with ascension is we ascend upwards, we rise in consciousness. That's all it means. We don't poof in a cloud of smoke into nowhere, which is what I used to think in the very early days, back in the days when I first stumbled upon the meaning of ascension. And I thought that I was going to disappear through some portal and never come back. Why would I do that and leave my family behind? So it took me a little while to understand what it really was, but it's really rising in consciousness. That's the simplest way. And we should always strive to rise in consciousness. And when we have risen to connect with our higher self, our I am presence, then we anchor that higher self to our physicalness, to our personality. Hi, Naylene. Hi, Lee. And hi, Kathy. So, you know, we anchor that down. And as we and so then we become spirit on earth. So that's what we mean about, you know, creating heaven on earth. First of all, we need to create it within ourselves. When each and every person begins to anchor their I am presence and anchor their higher self and be living in accordance with that, naturally we will create heaven on earth. There's only one way it can go, because everybody is thinking, breathing, speaking in higher consciousness languages and, you know, the language, words, the way we are, the way we become. And so that's briefly, not really that brief, but anyway, I'll be doing more of this soon, because the changes are coming. We are moving into the flow. And in fact, we are in full moon vibrations at the moment. It's today, tomorrow, soon, tomorrow, I think. So, and the light of the full moon, we have the light, the moon shining its light. So it's bringing the light to the unseen. No matter what, I think we're in Scorpio, I don't know what we're in, I haven't looked, but whatever flavor we're in, you can look that up yourself. There's plenty of articles on it. But generally, a full moon is shining its light on the unseen. So any darker places within you, during the full moon, the soft, beautiful, gentle energies of the full moon helps us to allow the darker, unseen, forgotten about parts of ourselves to come up, to rise, to become more gently into the light, so that we can become more of ourselves. It's a beautiful time for new growth and for change under this beautiful energies of the 52-7. Guiding us gently through our own ways of creating that beautiful change and trusting the process. Only last week, I knew I had changes coming up, but and you may be able to relate to this. I knew I had changes coming up, but I had these choices. Normally, I get a lot of clarity and I know where I'm going. I'll have masters calling me. I'll have strong sense of where I need to go in the world and be pulled in that direction. But I've been working really hard, and I think I was tired and drained and not really in touch with my greater guidance. So I didn't know where I was going. I need to go for a rest. I go to the Red Sea. I want to go home. It's summer. It's too hot here. It's crazy. I need to do things in Australia. I know that I need to go to India, so on and so forth. But I couldn't make a decision. And then I just got, everything happens for a reason. This crazy heat here and the air conditioning not working and problems with getting the stabilizers to work and all sorts of things got me into such a frazzled state that I went, that's it, I'm going home. And I booked my ticket. And I fly to Cairo tomorrow for 2 days of beautiful rest in a resort so that I can arrive home fresh, and I will arrive in Australia on Saturday. So that was my decision. And I feel so good. I feel really good. I've been really drained, and I feel really good that I made a decision. And sometimes, even if you don't know if you've made the right decision, it's just make a decision. Create a change in your life. Make that decision. Follow that decision. That's the 7. Follow the decision that you have made. You are the creator of all the changes that happen in your life. Make the decision, follow that path, and if along the way you decide, I think I want to do something else. Be brave enough to go, okay, I'm going to do something else. Who cares? You know what? It's easy for me to say. I've created such a life for myself that I am not caught in work or, my family has grown up, my parents have flown. And I'm in a position where I can create exactly what I want every day. I don't have to be in one place. I don't have to be in one country. I don't have to do anything really other than what I'm doing here, talking to you guys and wandering the world doing my spiritual purpose. But we can all do this to certain degrees. This didn't happen for me overnight. This happened from a journey of the last 20 years of making this decision and this decision and this decision, and more than 20 years, and following step by step every step of the way. And, created this amazing, big, beautiful retreat center that I'm in here for the last 2 years. But now I don't want to be here. So I've changed my plans. And by the end of this year, I'm going to move into a very small, humble little home that I've built for myself here in Egypt. And I'm going to focus all of my work here on my teachings and back to traveling again, and let go of the responsibility of such a big place. And this is the thing, we are the master of our own lives, and every choice that we make in every moment leads us to the next step, Oops, I don't like that step now, I've changed my mind. So what? I'm going to turn and go this way, or I'm going to go that way. That's the most important thing. Be brave. Listen to your spirit. Set yourself free. Which reminds me that in 1 minute I'm live somewhere else in a private group to do the keys and codes of setting yourself free, because this morning Spirit showed me the message of what the keys are to do, and it is to fly like the eagle. Set yourself free. Let go of whatever you are trying to control in the path that you're going. Just let go and fly. Open your wings and fly. So on that note, I'm going to say goodbye. And if you would like to buy those keys and codes, they will be available again after the recording today, after the live session, for $15. And you can connect in with me to receive those. And it will be an interesting one again today. Love you all. Thank you for coming in, and see you again soon. Bye.